Hi, like I said, my name is Matt Ennis. I'm the training chief here at Eugene Springfield Fire, and I would like to welcome each and every one of you and thank you for taking time out on this lovely afternoon to come celebrate the accomplishments of Recruit Class 21. And with that, I'd like to introduce our Chief Joe Zalita.
Thank you. Good afternoon. I see City Manager John Reese from City of Eugene and Springfield City Manager Gino Grimaldi, and thank you very much for joining us this afternoon. Class graduations are one of my favorite days of the year. I'm going to take a few minutes just to speak with the family and the graduates today to kind of set the stage for what it's going to be like to support emergency responders for the next 25 or 30 years. And so with that, I would say this is a very exciting time for Class 21. Congratulations for a job well done in the Academy. You are now ready to go out in the field and perform the career you've always dreamed of. As you know, we're a very active fire department. We responded to 37,000 calls for service last year and transported over 20,000 people via ambulance. We respond and manage house fires, wildland fires, motor vehicle accidents, cardiac arrests, critical trauma, and we see patients with severe trauma on a daily basis. I often repeat that the members of the Eugene Springfield Fire are by far the hardest working emergency crews in the state. With that being said, these critical responses challenge all your skills and abilities, and a majority of your work will be helping community members that are not having a critical emergency that day. Family folklore, Zaludic family folklore that is, says one of these instances happened in about 1965 when I, as a very young person, stuck my finger into a Welch's grape juice can and got it stuck. In those days, grape juice came in looks like a coffee can but narrower, and with both ends opened with what was called a church key opener, my finger was hopelessly stuck in that Welch's grape juice can. So my mom, with two screaming kids and me, did what any mom would do and called the fire department. Los Angeles City's finest showed up, 5 people, 3 on the tailboard. They came and they calmed down my mom. They calmed me down. All I remember is sitting on their lap, and they went and got some hand tools from the apparatus, and they removed this can from my finger. It's now part of our family legacy that gets retold decades later of how nice it was to have a friendly team of emergency responders to come and deal with what was a very minor crisis, but helped my mom a lot that day. Remember, Class 21, people never forget how you made them feel. It's a gift to be invited into the homes of the people that we treat and deal with on a daily basis. We show up, they open the door, they welcome us in, and we treat them, their family and their loved ones with respect, take them to the hospital to get them treatment, or get there and extinguish a fire, and take care of their belongings as if they're our own. It's very important that we remember that exposure to repeated trauma and repeated problems in the community take a toll on responders' health and well-being if we do not have adequate support systems in place. Some of those support systems are sitting in the room right now. You didn't know that, family members and friends, but you're going to do a lot to support our community by supporting these individuals that go out there and take care of business. Today, our call volume is over 700% higher than it was in 1981. A responder today, in 5 years of deployment in the field, receives the same amount of emotional stress that crew members with 25 years experience handled in the past. It's very important that we focus and care for the well-being of these emergency responders. Strategies to manage stress include rest, not all easy when you're on a medic unit, diet, exercise, and personal resiliency. Personal resiliency is the process of adapting well in the face of trauma, adversity, tragedy, threats, and significant sources of stress. Resiliency means the ability to bounce back from difficult experiences. As a department, we'll be learning more about peer resiliency this July to build on the peer resiliency training we had last November. It is important we learn as a team to acknowledge the fact that repeated stress takes its toll, and we need to work actively to fix that on a daily basis when it's small, not when it's large. Another key to maintaining personal and professional resiliency is to be empathetic. For some, it's not easy, and it takes experience and training to know what to say and how to say something in a manner that can reduce the stress or pain of a life-changing event. Although it's never easy, it does get easier with practice. Your impact of thoughtful words will maintain with that family for generations. Some professional advice. Always take the opportunity to talk to people that have experienced loss of a home, loss of a family, serious illness, or even death in the field. It's important that you take the time to have these communications with these family members. You tell them what they're doing to help their family and what you're going to do to take care of their belongings. Remember that comforting a family or injured patient is important for you and your well-being as it is for the patient and that family's well-being. It's never easy to talk to somebody that has experienced personal loss. However, it's how you remain connected to your humanity when you experience something so intense that it stays with you for a lifetime. Class 21, your words are important. Never miss the opportunity to use them to comfort someone in need or someone who has experienced a loss. Having the skill to manage stress, personal stress, by some counselors has been described as the ability to take these incidents and compartmentalize them as a rock that goes into your backpack. Some of these rocks are 1 pound. Believe me, over your career, some of these rocks will be 10 pounds. You keep putting these rocks into your backpack, pretty soon it takes the joy out of the hike of life, and you have to learn to get those rocks and shrink them down to pebbles and eventually shrink them down to a grain of sand. They're always going to be with you, and it's always going to be difficult to think about certain situations, but it's important that you actively work together to resolve these issues at the lowest level. This brings us to Eugene Springfield Fire's professional values. I gave you all a copy today, but just for the people that are here that can understand what those are, very basically, it's exceptional emergency response. We train every shift. We leave it better than we found it, and we make someone's day. A little bit of detail to add to that is we compel safety for our crews and the community. Safety is not an option. We compel safety. Everything we do. I think the first day I visited with you, I told you the most important 3 words in this business are safety, safety, and safety. So I want to repeat those today. Turnout time in less than a minute. The alarm goes off. We get out of the station to help the community. Extraordinary hose and nozzle management. That is our bread and butter of our operation, and we need to make sure that we are better at managing hose and nozzle than we've ever been in the academy, because we're going to be doing it for keeps now with nobody backing you up in a burn house. Perform critical tasks flawlessly. How's that for messing up on flawlessly? To quote Coach Vince Lombardi, perfection is not attainable, but if we chase perfection, we can catch excellence. Train every shift. That includes learning your job, mastering your craft, mentor your successor, and be a lifelong learner. Being a lifelong learner is important to any business, but especially in this one with the continuing education that keeps coming every 2 years. Right, Karen? Yeah. Leave it better than you found it. Apparatus, equipment, the station, your department. This is your department now. You're going to receive it in the condition it's in, and you're going to leave it better than you found it. Make someone's day, which means do the right thing. Earn the public's trust. This badge tells the community you can be trusted. You're going to earn that by how you treat and you act with integrity and character every single day. Respect customers and team members. Honor and document positive behaviors. And ask yourself, what is the most I can do to help someone that needs my assistance today? Our 26th president, Theodore Roosevelt, spoke to the difference between those who stand back and critique and those who are actually working to make a difference when he said, "It is not the critic who counts, not the individual who points out how the strong stumbles or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to those who are actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strive valiantly, who err and come up short again and again, because there is not effort without error and shortcomings, but who does actually strive to do the deed, who knows the great enthusiasm, the great devotion, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who at best in the end knows the triumph of high achievement, and who at worst, if they failed, at least they fail while daring greatly, so that their place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who know neither victory nor defeat. In your career at Eugene Springfield Fire, you are well prepared to experience victory. However, the reality is that you also have many opportunities to have a front row seat to experience pain, loss, and human tragedy on a routine basis. We know it is our mission to take care of the community during their time of need. We are now learning how important it is to encourage and support each other in a manner that allows us to be there for our families. Building a professional skill set of resiliency allows you to experience a measure of peace and tranquility back with your family at the station and with your family at home. It's very important that you learn how to do that. Congratulations, Class 21. You have worked hard to earn your position as a member of this organization, and you are now well prepared to serve this community. Now I want to recognize your families as the newest members of our organization's extended family. For you family members here today, your loved one's health and well-being is strongly influenced by your ability to listen and support them as they provide service to our community. You will be there after they've worked long hours under stressful conditions. Sometimes they will not be home when you expect them to because they're covering a shift, or they might be deployed for a week at a conflagration fire across the state of Oregon. And although your families know this, I want to publicly acknowledge that your family and friends are now part of our team, that we recognize their sacrifice in supporting your nonstop service to our community that includes weekends, holidays, evenings, and even anniversaries. Families, as a member of this team, we want you to feel welcome to reach out to other members of our department and to me personally if we can assist you and your family in any way, especially while adjusting to the challenges that go with emergency response shift work. With that, let's enjoy the rest of the ceremony and welcome Class 21, the newest members of our family and their family support teams to our department. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Well, this has been 14 weeks since you've started, and we have a tradition around here where we go and chronicle everything that has happened in the last 14 weeks through a video. We're going to run that for you now. It's going to run about 11, 12 minutes, but you're going to see time compression of 14 weeks and all of the, well, not all of the activities, but some of the activities they've done and some of the fun and some of the pain that they've had. So, Colin? 14 weeks, that's all, huh? You can see that was just a small snippet of everything that they went through. They put out a lot of good work and they are ready to go. We have some of the best trained people in the state, if not the whole West Coast, and if not the whole nation. I think a lot of that comes from the training staff that we have. We have an amazing training staff. I'd like to thank each and every one of them, but in the, to keep it brief, I'm going to say thank you very much, training staff. Along with that, we have Nurse Karen Anderson, our EMS training coordinator. She wants to come up and say a few things.
Thank you, Chief, for putting the microphone down for me. Good afternoon. It has been my privilege to work with the recruits on their medical skills during the academy. I would like to take this opportunity to give special thanks to our EMS training cadre of instructors, Dan Chase, Sean Waite, and Sean Vile for a short period of time. In addition, I want to thank the remaining training staff, including Chief Ennis, Captains Barnaby and Paskett, Engineer Degelman, and Program Specialist Barb Courtney. It takes a whole village to provide quality training for our new personnel. Now I'd like to present the Golden Pin Award. Each week during the academy, the recruits were expected to write an electronic report on a patient scenario they were given during the week. I am presenting the Golden Pin Award to the recruit who demonstrated the best report writing skills. Sophie, would you please come up and receive your award? I've asked each of the recruits to write down some of their most memorable thoughts about each other during this academy. I'd like to share some of these thoughts with you and some of my comments for each of the recruits as well. Starting with Jonathan Hayes. Throughout the academy, Recruit Hayes went out of his way to contribute to the success of the class. Bringing the class together through a cadence march was just one example. Initially, John came across as restrained and quiet in both humor and demeanor, but time and again we would hear his voice at the most opportune moments, always with perfectly timed sarcasm and wit you never saw coming and really needed at that moment in time. We all needed what John brought to the academy. John, I would say to you, character is the real foundation of all worthwhile success. You have an exemplary character. Congratulations. Ben Meyer, AKA Dr. Meyer, systematic and thorough. Ben is a machine. I'll never forget his dedication to his craft. Recruit Meyer's grandmother was a pioneer in tuberculosis treatment in the days of old. Her legacy lives on in him as evidenced by his medical knowledge and willingness to help others. Ben, I would like you to remember we are all faced with a series of great opportunities brilliantly disguised as impossible situations. I know you'll make opportunities out of difficult situations and be successful. Congratulations. Eris Steinberg. His positive attitude and willingness to demonstrate to the class how to move with a purpose on day one of the academy. There's a story there, but we don't have time to talk about it, but it was pretty funny. The other recruits will also remember the first day that the recruits were paired up for the feat. They were told to stay partnered up and to cross the finish line together. Ben and Eris were paired up. Eris had managed to catch up to Ben in the maze, where Ben had become a bit disoriented. Ben told Eris to go ahead of him and call back if he found the exit. Being as sleek and agile as he had ever been, Eris crawled ahead and managed to find the exit. Suddenly, Eris realized Ben was not behind him. Eris yelled, "Ben!" as loudly as he could, at which point Captain Finney frantically opened the door and asked Eris, "Is everything all right?" Eris yelled back, "I'm going back for Ben," as though Ben's life was truly on the line. Eris crawled back to find Ben, and they exited the maze together. Ben still finished 5 minutes ahead of Eris. Eris, a true hero is someone who has given their life to something bigger than themselves or something other than themselves. I'm confident you will be a true hero. Good job. Nathan Strauss. Nathan has a subtle personality with impressive dedication. Nathan had the stress of the academy pace with the added stress of flying to Arizona each weekend to be sleep deprived by a brand new daughter. In addition, he was trying to sell one house in Arizona and buy another in Oregon. Nathan, the other recruits will also remember one day before a drill session, when Raleigh accidentally put a chocolate milk into your turnout coat pocket instead of into his own pocket. This normally would not have been an issue, except that this day was voted to window bailouts. During one of his window bailouts, the chocolate milk in Nathan's pocket broke, and chocolate milk began to leak out of his turnout pocket. Engineer Peterson, understandably confused, asked Nathan if he had chocolate milk in his pocket. Nathan, completely unaware of his dairy-free stowaway, was as perplexed as the rest of us. One bailout later, Nathan's turnouts were soaked, and the rescue house siding was stained in chocolate milk. Nathan, words can never adequately convey the incredible impact of our attitude toward life. Life is 10% what happens to us and 90% how we respond to it. Remember to cultivate an exceptional attitude. Good job. Raleigh Taylor. Mr. Taylor had a good day every day, no matter what, because he made it that way. His stories were endless and requiring great concentration to understand, such as dreams to become a drone pilot, or hey-oh, potato. Maybe someday we will hear these things as the new lingo and think of Taylor giving a wink and a smile. It was VEIS Search Day with Captain Lowenheim, a familiar face to Raleigh from his BLS days. Raleigh wanted to impress him and hopefully one day make him proud. Eris had thrown a perfect ladder to the base of the second floor window, and Raleigh was masked up and ready to advance through the window. Raleigh scaled the ladder at speeds which only left us wondering what his 40 time would be. Once at the top of the ladder, he attempted to bail into the second floor. However, Raleigh's legs wiggled freely in the air. Eris masked up and climbed the ladder as quickly as he could. Eris found Raleigh dangling at the top of the ladder with the tip of the ladder stuffed into his turnout pocket. Without panicking or breaking a sweat, Eris once again rescued a fellow recruit from disaster. Captain Lowenheim was really impressed. Raleigh, throughout the academy, you've always maintained a positive attitude and have never let adversity get you down. I'm confident you will be a tremendous inspiration to the crews you are working with online. Congratulations. Sophie Tomczyk, AKA Giggles. Sophie laughs at everything, even if it's not funny. Sophie is a trooper. She has impressed us throughout the academy with her knowledge as well as her resolve. Nowhere more so than in the feet test. The recruits recall watching her pull a wet hose across 100 feet of wet asphalt, bent forward at about a 30-degree angle, putting every ounce of her resolve into completing her task. Sophie, you have worked so hard to make your dreams come true, and I have so much respect for you. You will be successful in whatever challenge you undertake. Good job. Ben Walton, AKA Mr. Incredible. Ben got his nickname because of what he looked like driving the half truck and how slow the half truck moved with him in it. He'll get there when he gets there. Recruit Walton somehow put up with the daily barrage of questions from the class with a smile and an in-depth explanation. The questions had nothing to do with fire or EMS, but about raising 8,000 head of sheep, running a farm, how many trucks he owned, what an auger was used for, and the list goes on and on and on. Ben, remember that your attitude keeps you going or cripples your progress. With the proper attitude, there's no challenge too great for you. You've been gifted with a tremendous work ethic and attitude. Congratulations. And last but not least, Cody Whitney. Cody became very attached to a hummingbird that hung out in the courtyard. He would look for it every time we walked to the drill field. Cody named him Humdinger and was able to predict which tree Humdinger would be perched in based on the time of day. I'm sorry, I'm trying not to laugh. The other recruits will also remember you floating down the river again and again after Sophie's missed rescue attempts. Cody, the secret of living a life of excellence is merely a matter of thinking thoughts of excellence. I know you will be able to think thoughts of excellence, which will help you to succeed in your life and career. Congratulations. To Recruit Class 21, you are embarking on an incredible career that provides you with the opportunity to serve. Perform your duties with integrity, empathy, and exemplary character. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to work with you and to get to know you. I'm so proud of all of you. Congratulations once again. Thank you.
Okay, now comes the serious stuff. We're going to have the oath of office with Chief Salute. So if recruits, please stand. Yep, finally. I'll hold them for you. Bring them to you.
I state your name.
I, Ben Meyer,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully perform the duties of firefighter,
that I will faithfully perform the duties of firefighter,
that I will strive for the preservation of life,
that I will strive for the preservation of life,
property, and the environment,
property, and the environment,
and act for the good of the community.
and act for the good of the community,
That I will uphold the rules and regulations of this department,
that I will uphold the rules and regulations of this department,
that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of my position.
that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of my position.
Okay, go ahead and have a seat, recruits. Now comes the fun part. These recruits have worked long and hard. Go ahead and have a seat. Worked very long, very hard, and they have earned their badge today. And to that end, we are going to call them up one at a time and have a significant other come up and pin the badge on them, hopefully not pouring any blood out. So first off, recruit Ben Meyer. Who do you have? Would you like to come up? Larissa is girlfriend. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Now he also gets his helmet. During the academy, they all have black helmets. When they graduate, they get the firefighter yellow helmet. Thank you, Ben. Next, recruit John Hayes. John, you're going to have. Thank you. Thank you, Jonathan. Recruit Ben Walton. You are going to have your daughter, Meryl. Thank you, Ben. Next up, Nathan Strauss. And you are going to have Thank you, Nathan. Next up, recruit Cody Whitney. And you are going to have Dad Mike. Cody. Sophie Tomchek. Come on up. Who do you have? There's always one. Recruit Eris Steinberg. You are going to have join us. Mom Roz. Not your two brothers? And finally, recruit Raleigh Taylor.
My mom, Mary Jo.
Your mom, Mary Jo. Thank you. Well, thank you. On our little thing here, it doesn't have this, but we're going to have recruit now firefighter Hayes come up. He wanted to say a few words. So.
Good afternoon, honored guests, chiefs, so many people to name and thank. I just want to extend our sincere thank yous to everybody involved in our success here. I want to thank you for your time to celebrate this with us. The training cadre, I feel, deserves an additional thanks. On February 22nd, the training staff were presented with a group of individuals with various levels of knowledge, life experiences, personalities, and abilities, and rugged good looks. I'm saying, the skill and patience required to mold that group into a cohesive, effective unit was nothing short of amazing. I feel confident in saying that the 8 of us are better paramedics, firefighters, people, and servants as a result of that effort. A favorite quote I have read and used frequently, so I'm sorry if you've heard this before. If you want to build a ship, excuse me, don't drum up people to collect wood and don't assign them tasks and work, but rather teach them to long for the endless immensity of the sea. Our training cadre has done just that. Well, they did assign some tasks and some work, but it was all for a reason. It was for a purpose. It was to build us towards greater things. They have ensured that our foundation is strong. They have instilled in us a longing not for the sea, but for excellence. They have prepared us for the immensity of our potential in humble service of our community. Our actions on every call will in some part be a reflection of your commitment to us, the department, and I think it should be commended. We will make that reflection always a positive one. So as Recruit Class 21 sails into the uncertain seas of vast and great expanse, rest assured, because of you, we will survive and advance. And then we were going to get like some all expense paid vacations, but the staff is so humble, they wouldn't have accepted that kind of stuff. So we just had a small award made up as a small token. I know that they appreciate our actions to become better, greater than any physical or monetary gift could ever do. But it says, thank you for your commitment to our success. Class 21, survive and advance.
Wow, that is a great hire. Who made that decision? That concludes our program. I'd like to thank you all again for coming. We'll give you access to the firefighters here in a second, but we're going to go take pictures in front of our fountain out there because we have to have a class picture. You're welcome to take some pictures also. But then after that, we'll have cake and punch and mingle time, and I'm sure they want to show you some of the places that they've been the last 14 weeks, friends and family. So thank you for coming.